Hello, it's Nikki, and welcome to a brand new workshop. Today, we are talking about how to prepare for the Let's Have a Coffee date in 5 easy steps. I am going to imagine that if you are self-employed, you're building something, you're a creative, you're out there in the world selling your services, showing your expertise. You are probably going to have this sentence said to you a lot. We should go for a coffee sometime. We should hop on a call. We should jump on a Zoom. All of it. And I want you to be ready. And I've got some checks for you. So let's get into it. Okay, if we are meeting for the first time, this is my very brief introduction. I'm Nikki and I do lots of different things. I'm a trained coach, a speaker, an actor, a writer, a creator, a collaborator, so many different things. And over the last 15 years, I've been helping hundreds of people to activate and illuminate their personal brand. And I have been doing that too for over 25 years within my personal brand myself. If you like these kind of workshops, please subscribe to the playlist. And also, I have some longer free workshops on my website, nikkiravy.com/workshops. Okay, let's talk about my experience of Let's Have a Coffee over the last 25 years. In the past, I have had coffee dates that have been life-changing, game-changing, mind-blowing, to the point where I may meet somebody for a coffee at 10 a.m. and by 12 minutes past 10, I know that my life is about to change. A new chapter is about to unfold. And what a great time to be alive. I've also had many Let's Have a Coffee date, which have been soul destroying, time wasting, boundary establishing, and resetting. I've come out of those meetings thinking, I'm never going to do that. Why did I put myself in that situation? And sometimes I've really been tough on myself, like, why did I not know better? Guess what? Most of us are learning as we go. And so we have to apply that grace to ourselves. Sometimes it's just been infuriating. That person hasn't respected your time, they're not ready, it's just not a match. The person is not who they said they were. Or maybe there's just that mismatch of energy. You know, those people who like to talk about it. And sometimes these people go for coffees all day long. They love to talk and chat and chew the fat. And what we need to recognize is, what do you want from this situation? What kind of energy do you have? Do you have an idea and make it happen? How do you move? What's your timing, your rhythm? You have to know this. I have had moments where the person was not ready to work at my level. Not saying that I am better than somebody else, or, I think this and I think this about this other person. But there are some people who are not ready, nor are they willing to do what it takes. And they get stuck in, like, oh, I was late and I was going to, and then I didn't. For me, that's just not the way that I work. And most successful people that I know are people who get things done. They allow the vision to lead the way rather than the fear, rather than the chat. They don't bitch about other people behind other people's backs. I want you to consider the currency of the coffee. It may be a fantastic idea for somebody to say, yeah, let's go for a coffee. I'd love to do that. Can I take you for a coffee? But there may be a point where you can buy your own coffee, and you spending 90 minutes with somebody is maybe not a great use of your time. Could be great for the other person, but what will you have in return? Will there be reciprocity? And maybe you should have just charged for your time. You maybe should have given an ask me anything, maybe had a conversation about money, maybe sent them in the direction of a course that they could buy from you. Remember, your one-on-one time should be your most precious resource. So, Here we go. Number one, when you are contemplating, considering, agreeing to a coffee, you have to know why you're going. You have to know why you're going. And sometimes, sometimes you don't exactly know what is going to happen. Sometimes you're like, I've just got a great feeling about this and I need to be there in the room. And what an amazing opportunity. And you don't need to therefore know the agenda because your body is going, yes, 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 let's go. This is where I need to be. And there are also moments where you maybe don't need to travel 3 hours over to the other side of London like I have. You could just jump on a Zoom. You don't need 3 hours there and 3 hours back for a 40-minute casual coffee. And again, I've made that mistake in my past. I've trogged across to the other side of wherever to help somebody out. I've then bought the coffee. I bought my travel card and I've lost pretty much a whole day. You have to know the reason why you are doing this. And in the early stages, have a sense of whether there is any intersection where you may both meet. So if somebody, for example, said, Nikki, I own a vet surgery. I've just opened up and I'm a local business, so I think like there could be some great work we could do together. Well, my first instinct would be I actually don't coach pets though. And I could coach pet owners, but that's not necessarily my target audience. Or when somebody is taking their animal to the vet, they're not thinking, gosh, I really must work on my personal brand. They are there in the vet with their dog, their cat, their rabbit, their budgie. And so, if I was thinking about that person who would approach me and they needed help with their small business marketing, that for me would be a paid service. Because looking at that intersection, there's not enough there to see that reciprocity. So, asking yourself always, is this a paid service or not, will be really useful. Number two, prepare. Also, I should say, is some people are going to meet you for coffee and they're not even going to know who you are. They're not going to care. And this is not me being negative or bitter or twisted or anything like that. It's just about being realistic. But it's also reminding you of these things so you have the tools to make different moves next time. I remember having a phone call meeting with somebody and she called me Claire the entire time. And I thought to myself, do I want to hand over X amount of percentage of my income to somebody just when they can't even get my name right, when they don't know who I am, when even though I've sent them loads of information on an email, they clearly haven't read it. So this is for you to show up how you choose to. I want you to ask yourself who they are, what they do. And I want you to go in with stuff. There's nothing worse than approaching a meeting going, so tell me about yourself then, or tell me what you do. Find out what they do and go in with a point of view. The fact that you said, oh, you might say, so you went to Newcastle University, and then you follow up with what you want to talk about rather than you just going, so where did you go to university then? If you know that information, you can personalize the experience much quicker. Also, find the common themes, the things that if you were in a Venn diagram together, the places and the spaces where you would be overlapping. Also, the points of differences. We don't just want to have coffees with people who are exactly like us. We want to understand more about them, why they do what they do. Ultimately, go in with some banging questions. It will never serve you wrongly. Number three, you have to go in with purpose, ideas, gaps, problems that you could solve, ways that you could come together, ways that you could support each other. So when I spoke at Stylist Live, I was invited to come and have a coffee, and I did. But it's never a coffee. It's never a casual chat. I went in with the research. I looked at their agendas of their previous conferences. I thought about 5 or 6 different topics I could speak on. I compared myself to people who had been on bills before, and I showed how I'd be similar to them, but also different. I thought about what was in the culture of what was happening in terms of female business at this time. You have to go in with a point of view. And again, some people won't operate in those kind of ways. Some people are like, I don't know. So I'm just going to have a moan about how tough business is at the moment. That is for them to do with their friends, not with you, not in your work time, unless it is a paid service. Number 4, I want you to feel out the conversation. I want you to do your checks and balances. Is there rapport? Are there similar values? Are there red flags that are coming up again and again? I remember going for a coffee with somebody, and she basically slagged off every single person who'd been part of her business, whether it was the photographer, whether it was her website designer. She went to an event that she was sharing online, but she said that she didn't enjoy it. She was given some free product to try, and I'm just trying to be careful about what I say here. Given some free product to try, and she said it wasn't even that nice, but yet she was promoting it. And for me, when I observed how she was moving, I thought, I don't like to build relationships like that. I love honesty. I love things being built on truth, a sense of if I was doing something wrong, that they would be able to come and talk to me about it, that we would work together to find a solution. Not so in the meeting with me, they'd be like, yeah, that sounds great. And then afterwards be like, oh, as if I would do that. We've got no time for that kind of bitchy school playground energy. So if you are ever having a very internal moment where your body's going, there's something not quite right here, trust it. When people show you who they are, believe them. I love that phrase so much. Finally, I think that when you meet somebody for a coffee, the worst thing you could do is to say, well, let's just keep talking, to keep it really casual. If there is an idea, if there is something you want to move forward on, I would love you to follow up, to think about where you go next, because otherwise it's just chitter chatter. And I often find the coffees that go really well, that are those game-changing, life-changing, mind-blowing moments, is as soon as I've got on the tube or in the taxi on the way home, I'm like, this was great when I was thinking about this. And at the same time, the person is writing back to me. That's the kind of energy. Equally, if you don't see it going any further, you can still, you don't have to tell them everything you've ever thought about them. You go, it's really nice to see you today. Thank you. Lots of food for talk for. Let's keep in touch. Don't promise the world. Don't give all of the things. Don't sign your life away. You know what to do. I think also it's so easy to always endeavor to be a nice person. And sometimes that niceness can just grab you and pull you back in some shape or form. In terms of the next steps, I would love to invite you to a strategy session experience. You can find out all about my sessions over at nikkiraby.com/sessions. Equally, if you know that you want to be somebody who is moving and shaking and meeting people and getting your brand out there and visibility and really growing your profile, come and do Speak Up. There are 3 ways to join. The first is an online course, and the second option 2 and option 3 have one-on-one support. If you add magic at checkout, you can save 20%. If you go to nikkiraby.com/speak up, you can find out more about all of the parts of it. Finally, if you know you need something but you're not sure what, feel free to book a free complimentary call to talk about your next steps. You can either book it via my contact page, nikkiraby.com/content, or if you go on any page of my website, there is a button in the bottom right-hand corner. Click on it, it activates the messenger, and you can write your message. It goes directly to me, completely confidential, and we can book in some time. If you are not subscribed to the playlist, feel free to do so. Daily workshops go live at 7 every morning. I will see you there. I'll see you tomorrow. And thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Lots of love. Bye.